Hallo und willkommen zurück hier auf der Gamescom aus Halle 10.2. Das ist Speedruns auf der Gamescom 2025 und wir durften gerade einen wunderschönen Run zu Bloodstained genießen und das war kein geringerer als Ætienne. Schön, dass du nice to have you here. Thank you so much for taking the time and travel to Cologne just to show us Bloodstained.
You're welcome. That was a pleasure to be there, and also that was the Gamescom is so big. I was close to lose myself.
So what was your impression of Gamescom? Was war deine Eindrücke der Gamescom?
The thing is that when I see the number of people who's waiting at the entrance, I say, wow, that will be difficult to move because that's probably a lot of people at the same place. But this is so big, this is so large, and we have so way to move freely. And actually, I'm just having lots of fun to chilling before my runs and watching all of the indie stuff here. I especially love the indie part of the convention.
Also wir sind uns sehr, sehr einig. Also es gibt hier viel zu viele Leute, viel zu viele Sachen, die man sich angucken kann. Gerade auch hier bei uns in der Halle, die Indie Arena Booth, die ist hier quasi ja auch ein kleines Stück von uns weg. Und es ist einfach sehr, sehr faszinierend. So this was probably your first run at Gamescom. I mean, this like Speedruns at Gamescom. It's like 3 years now. I mean, it's not a public day today, but what was your impression when you got here? Like, or you saw like there's speedrunning at Gamescom?
That was honestly a really good experience. Most of the other big events that I did in terms of speedrunning has sometimes lots of requirements about the stuff that we have to use or probably how we capture the thingies. And here, especially on stage, I had no input delay, no problem with the sound on some stuff. So everything, technically everything was good. I just messed it up on the level, and that was all my bad.
I leave the translation to the editorial people. Like I guess this is the first video we do subtitles for.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I saw like I want to show you guys something like this. This is like what Ætienne did in his past speedrunning career. You guys may notice there's another run on the schedule. How did you end up liking so many Pokemon runs?
Especially because I played Pokemon since I was a young kid, since I was 8 years old, so I already know those games well, and also because thanks to the great organization about the Pokemon speedrunning community, this is really easy to find documentations, notes, and guides, and to play them, to learn the run thanks to that, and also because they are turn-based game and also really sequence run. Instead of other speedruns like Zelda or like Celeste, for example, you can have your notes with you at the same time that you're playing the game, which allow you to read the notes and like a player of piano have those partitions in front of him. This is nearly the same thing as Pokemon. This is why I love learning those games, is because you can have your own notes, your own sheets basically, and you can personalize that as much as you can personalize your own run. So this is what fascinates me, especially in Pokemon speedrunning.
So you said that Pokemon was your childhood. So what was your first like collision with speedrunning? What was the first impact of speedrunning in your life?
That's kind of strange, but my first collision in terms of speedrunning was the tool-assisted speedruns, another part of the speedrunning communities, which is basically playing games but with algorithm, with computer, basically. That was in 2011, thanks to a really well-made show by two people named CDV and Realm Up, who's made an emission named 88 miles per hour, 80 miles à l'heure in French, when they present some videos from taskvideo.org, which is basically the website when you can see some tests. And because I am now, but I was doing some, I was a student at this moment, and I would like to be a developer, a programmer, basically an engineer in programations. I was really involved into that, and after doing some tests and seeing some tests and trying to do myself some automatization about computer playing a speedrun, I say, hey, I can try it myself. And I try with some indie games, Spanish indie games named Rise and Shine was my first speedruns, and so on and so on, and I try other ones. And after that I remember, hey, that can work also in Pokemon, which was my childhood. And when I see how far the reverse engineering about the speedrunning communities goes in Pokemon speedrunning, I was, oh, okay, I want to do that.
So you've been talking about the community. So from what you just told us, it seems you had like an easy access into the community. Let us know about the French community. We are addressing the German community now. We try to grow, but what is it like, the French community? It's like so big. You guys got Speedruns, and it feels like the French community is super huge, and you guys do lots of stuff. Tell the German audience what it is like to be a speedrunner in France.
So first of all, I think we have the chance to have great content creator in France. That I cannot explain that, but we have, for example, as I said, since the beginning of the speedrunning, there was already shows like the one that I speak about, the 80 miles per hour. In terms of speedrunners, we have really talented one on the biggest scene. I can just say one name, Marco, for example, which is the best, in my opinion, Zelda speedrunner in France. I have multiple world records on Ocarina of Time and other speedruns like Trojan Princess, and he's really respected for that also. And after that, we have some of the biggest content creators, especially in Twitch. For example, Mr. MV, who was a speedrunner of Final Fantasy VI, and also with Médecins du Monde, which is a big ONG, which is actually, in my opinion, the biggest show in speedrunning. I consider GDQ as a convention during a whole week, and there's a lot of stuff to do instead of the stream. But in terms of a show with this big area, speedrun is really impressive, especially when you are on site. And thanks to that, now all of the community, all of the French people already know what is a speedruns. So they are involved in that, create, for example, new category. And in terms of Pokemon specifically, now I was one of the French people who has many of the French record, but not our record in many different Pokemon speedruns. That's absolutely not the case right now. There is some really awesome French Pokemon speedrunner now in the community, especially the Pokemon French racing teams, so the PFR teams.
My first impact with the French community was in Paris like 4 or 5 years ago, where there's Bolaron.
Yeah, exactly.
Is there even BLR anymore? It's like Interglitches now, and there's Speedruns.
Interglitch will happen. The submission for the next Interglitch has stopped last week, and there will be Interglitch this October, at the end of October. This is 2 separate events. Speedrun is basically a big show. Mainly the public of speedrun is a lot of people who probably only know speedruns or probably don't know the speedruns too much, honestly. But in Interglitch, we see. This is honestly one of the meeting that I like also a lot, because there is a lot of whole peoples from the speedrunning communities, like Le French Restream, who is basically the biggest association of restream in France.
Shout out.
There
are restreams out there. We have a French restream.
We have a French restream, which is Nitro Speedruns, which is not Le French Restream, because, as I said, they are pretty busy by Interglitch. So this is Nitro Speedruns who actually restream that. So hello guys, especially I think that was Romstains or others They are probably watching us right now. But yeah, Speedruns is now totally. There is some people from the French stream who's helping Speedruns, especially of the review of the runs, because they have a lot of experience. And there's other people who are involved about organizing the restream of Speedruns, like Gio, who's also the original maker of Bourlaren, which now doesn't exist anymore. So yeah, all of those people who was really involved with the speedrunning community as a speedrunner first, now being some organizer about events, and now keep going by making the restream, the communication between speedrunners and restreamers, and also making people's probably going from other countries run into French events comfortable, like Bubzia, who's probably the most well-known blindfold speedrunner, who's from Germany, was speedrunning on Speedrun, and was organized by, he say, if I'm right, that was also a blast. So I'm really happy to have some transfer in between German events and French events. There will also another French runner, which would be Klex later, if I'm right, in this gamescom. So.
Talking about that, like you have so many experience at events. You've been into speedrunning so many years now. I'll tell you about my favorite speedrun moment. I've always been a spectator of speedrun events before I started hosting these events, but it was at Bourlaren actually.
Oh,
and
okay.
As a kid, I used to watch a French adventure show. It's called Fort Boyard. And I was at Bourlaren, it was 2019, I think, and there was a Fort Boyard run, and the whole crowd in this small auditorium, they were all chanting the main theme, and this was my favorite moment.
Oh, Fort Boyard. Okay,
I
was not sure. Yeah, this was performed by two of my friends, Yaj and Shigan.
So what I want to say was that the question is there a favorite speedrun moment of any kind, like you experienced as a spectator or as a runner or at the event? Is there a favorite moment you always remember and say, I'm glad I got into this whole thing?
In terms of spectator, you mean as a spectating events? Yeah.
Yeah, as a spectator or as active runner, or just since you joined the community. Is there something you always remember, and when people ask you what's speedrunning to you, what moment do you remember?
Oh, okay. That's hard. That's hard. I remember also the moment when that was Eraser and Yajiji was running, not Shigan, not for the moments, but I remember also this moment at the Fort Boyard race at Bourlaren.
Yeah, it was a race between Eraser and I forgot his name.
Eraser and Yajiji, if I'm right.
They wore the t-shirts and everything. Guys, YouTube that.
I think I got it, but I was on the crowd, and that was at Speedrun, and that was the Grandmaster run on Tetris, the Grandmaster 3 by Klex on Speedrun 3, if I'm right. Basically, if you don't know, there is around 20 people in the world who achieved the rank of Grandmaster, if I'm right, on Tetris, the Grandmaster 3. And he performed that in front of around 600 people, which is by far the biggest crowd where this really, really rare achievement has been done. So it can be found on there is many clips of that. You can find it can be found on YouTube also. And the blast of the crowd was really silent, because at the end of this showcase, the tetraminos fall in a blindfold way. You cannot see anything, and it's intensely fall. So it's really hard. This is the hardest thing is probably in the Tetris the Grandmaster. So the crowd is really silent at this moment. No one speaks, and at this moment, when this finish, Klex is the first to say a big yes in English especially, and literally that everyone jumped at the same time, and that was a big scream of everyone. That was literally that took me by the hurt, because I knew that I was my hand in front of that, because I knew how big that was. at the moment when that explodes. So yeah, this was this moment, the run of the final moment of the run of Klex at Speedrun 3 on TGM 3, if I'm right.
There's also like TGM on the schedule, so you guys can enjoy that. I think it's on Saturday, so Klex is here and show us some Tetris. And there's also another run for you on the schedule, and it's, I already said it, Pokemon. Let's give us some foreshadowing.
So Pokemon Red and Imposter Glitchless is by far the most well known and the most played Pokemon speedrun of all time. Basically, it's just finishing the run as fast as we can without any glitches, but there is a lot of technique also around it. So we will explain that. That will be explained in German by a really by someone who's really old in this community, which will be Dolani. He will dare to explain that. And yeah, just by playing good without any glitches, we can beat this run under 2 hours, especially because how the game is made, which is really interesting in terms of optimization, especially of sound optimizations, as we explain.
You guys can estimate how old these people are. You now see on screen when Pokemon is like 25 years now. So up next, thank you so much for being like a French community ambassador here at Gamescom. Tomorrow there's more of Ætienne going on, so please tune in for Pokemon Red up next. I switch to German now. Jetzt gleich für euch der wunderbare, der unfassbare, ohne Joko, aber auch ein bisschen Glasfolie mit einem, ich will ja jetzt nicht sagen, es ist ja nicht ein Spiel, es ist auch nicht wirklich 2 Spiele, es ist ein Spiel aus 2 Spielen. Was genau das zu bedeuten hat, das seht ihr gleich, denn es gibt Zelda, 3D Zelda, und da haben wir auch schon gehört, ist auch übrigens auf seiner Liste, da haben wir auch schon gehört, Ocarina of Time, gutes Spiel, Majora's Mask, vielleicht auch ein ganz gutes Spiel. Wie das in Kombination aussieht, das sehen wir jetzt gleich mit Glasfolie. Thank you for being here.
You're
Bis
welcome.
gleich, liebe Freunde.